Welcome to the DIY3DTech.com channel.
So here we are back again. So we've now basically have the gantry completed except for the slider for the extruder. Actually what I decided to do, rather than build the Melamine one, is actually print a new one out on my other 3D printer. So that's in the process. So that'll be done in probably about another half hour. Basically just snaps onto these two linear bearings, and the extruder mounts to it with screws, so it's kind of easy to change. Part of the logic I'm doing that for is I can print several of them out and make an easy changeable head. One of the other projects that I have after this one that I've started working on is building a laser cutter, and actually one of the pieces I'm thinking about doing is using this platform, at least initially, to test the laser cutter and play with it for a little bit, because the laser cutter that I do want to build, it's going to be a 2-watt laser diode based, and I do want it to be fairly large, to cut at least 8.5 by 11 area, or engrave 8.5 by 11 area, or larger. So I think I'll build a bigger dedicated machine, but maybe to mess around with this will be good. And again, this will pop on and off, so I can do that. But back to this piece. So as mentioned in the prior section, we've glued it together. You can kind of see the back here. The glue's pretty much set up. We'll leave it set overnight. Still have to do a little bit of cleanup. But as you recall, one of these broke in the last piece, and I tried fixing it with some JB Weld. Didn't come out really too good. Guess it would have worked at the end of the day, but it looked crappy. So went to Tinkercad, designed some new ones, printed them out so they matched. Worked very well right out of the gate. They're very, very tight fit. One of them I had to trim a little bit because the ABS expanded, but no big problem. Just used the utility knife and took off a couple thousandths. Fit like a champ. Screw holes lined up like they should. Fit in here. So really great out of the gate success story with these. I'll put a link to the Tinkercad, the STL files up there in case you want to print your own. I kind of even do recommend maybe switching these out. Did these with a 30% fill, just standard shells, standard feed, 2000s, separation, whatever, for the print layering. So the other piece is just kind of mentioned the belt system, because the one I'm printing out for the slider actually clips to the belt rather than being super glued, which I can't even imagine super gluing this. However, note that this belt, this is linear here, where this is at an angle because of the size of this counter pulley. So just know it'll clamp up here, and it's actually all should work as it is. So anyways, the next thing we're going to do is mount this on top of the chassis, and we'll do another video on all that coming together, and then probably a video on the extruder. I am going to print out, besides the mount, I'm going to print out an extruder too, not use this whole wooden conglomeration over here, and then do the electronics. So check back soon. So here we are. We basically have most of the TwoUp put together. Wanted to touch a little bit in this video on the electronics portion. As you can see here, we've got everything mounted on the board that's designed or comes from TwoUp or Quintessential machines for the electronics. As you recall, I did print on the other printer mounting for the Arduino Mega, which this is sitting on and screwed down, versus just I think the suggestion is put 2 screws, wood screws, through this and just kind of bolt the whole thing down. So this is a lot cleaner. You can see some of the wiring. Again, be very careful with this. This is main wiring here. This is 110 volts in the US. Neutral, hot, and ground. And then you have 2 12-volt leads. I think worth noting is the instructions show pretty good how to wire these, basically black, red, and you have a set of black here, you have a set of red here, coming off the 12-volt power supply, You can check the voltages here. You have the ramp drivers here. These are 4 ramp drivers, 3 for the steppers, for the axes, and then this one for the extruder. The hot's wired in here. I haven't wired in the hot yet, so I'm still working on the extruder. Actually just printed one off on the printer a little bit earlier. We'll be talking about that in a separate video, putting that together. So anyways, just kind of wanted to update the build project a little bit and show where we've gotten to and show off the electronics piece. Again, we put all this together, it'll be cleaned up, so not nearly the rat's mess that you're seeing, on the desk in front of you. It does work, it does move. I did want to hook it up, so all the axes do move. So again, I'm just waiting to finish assembling the extruder, and we should be able to print something.